What is going on today, guys? We are here in my uncle's BMW 325is, and I'm going to be doing another driving review of it. This car was built in 1989 as an e30 325, and it is quite fun. It's not overly modified, but it is slightly modified. It's got a renowned steering wheel, it's lowered, and it's on aftermarket wheels. Otherwise, it's basically stock. So, let's fire it up. Oh. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let me back her up a little bit. Make sure I don't... Like, the road is basically completely washed away, or at least the pull-off zone is, so I don't want to accidentally pull into those puddles. Alright, now that we're up to speed. The BMW 3 Series has been BMW's mid-range model. This used to be the smallest model they offered, but they went up. They went down to the 2 Series for their coupes in their current generation. I don't remember when that started. Currently, BMW uses the even-numbered cars as their coupes and the odd-numbered cars as their sedans. However, even as recently as the most recent generation, even as recently as the previous generation, however, that was different. In the previous generations, which in the case of the 3 Series was the 9s, the E90, E91, and E92, the E9X series is what they've been referred to. They had the convertible, the sedan, and the coupe. I'm getting a lot of steering wheel wobble. What was I going to say? Back in the first generation, the E30, this car I believe was based off of the 2002 BMW, or the BMW 2002, and is, I'm going to be honest, quite possibly my favorite BMW, other than the M3 from this generation. But the 325 is powered by a 6-cylinder. It is the only 6-cylinder from this generation. All the others were 4 cylinders, and then the M3 was a turbo 4. This car has no power steering, no traction control, no rev matching, because I don't know when that was invented, but it was not back in the 90s, I'll tell you that. And it is quite possibly the most pure driving experience. I love this car. So, let's get on to this car specifically and stop talking about the history of BMWs. So this car is my uncle's car. It sits slightly lowered with no modifications to the engine and... Nope. Okay. This car is slightly lowered. It sits no modifications to the engine, and it is on aftermarket 15-inch wheels. And I can't think of anything I'd do to it. I wouldn't turbo it because the power is just so linear, and a turbo would absolutely ruin that. And I wouldn't, maybe I'd add in a short shifter, but not even that. The only thing I don't like is that the shifter is very loose. Like it wobbles back and forth a lot within the gear, so you don't even know if you're in gear sometimes. But otherwise, it's pretty good. This car has 210,000 miles, and the only thing I notice different is that it leaks oil and it ticks. And that's not much for a 210,000 mile German car. So here we are approaching a little bit of twisties, dropping into third. Listen to that 6-cylinder, it's so nice. I have one fault with this car for me, being that I am 6'2". I can't see the speedometer. Like, the top of the speedometer from between 50 miles an hour and 100 miles an hour, this amount, completely blocked off. So I have no clue how fast I'm going at all. I have to like duck down like this to see how fast I'm going. But sometimes that doesn't matter, because this car doesn't have enough power to actually break a speed limit. It has 150 new. Who knows how many of those are still there? And once we're at altitude, even more of those are gone. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's sitting somewhere around 110 to the rear wheels. And I don't think I'd change that. It feels good to drive. It's planted. It's just perfect. And it is a car that when you want to go slow and just cruise, you can just do that. The window controls are down here by the transmission. The sunroof is up here. And that's about it. It's a purposeful car. There is nothing in here that is not designed with a purpose. There are no blank gauges. There are no blank switches. There's nothing you don't need in everything you do. Now we're stuck behind this Honda, so I'm going to just chill out for a little bit. You see, it's perfectly fine cruising around right here at 35 miles an hour up this hill. I'm not happy about doing 35 up this hill in this car. Might need to downshift a little bit. So when braking, the pedals are in the perfect position for heel-toe downshifting. Excuse me, I'm gonna get past this guy. There we go. All right. So for braking, the pedals are in the absolute perfect position for heel-toe. Not a bit of wheel spin, not a bit of slip through that, and I took way too much speed through there. It's just got grip for days. No understeer, no oversteer. It's the perfect setup on a chassis. Okay, I take it back. I might add a little bit more power because it's a little down, especially up here. But not much. Like, it kind of sits. It sits really well as it is. It's the epitome of 90s. It's got carpet on the dashboard. It's got an actual bra, not a clear bra, on the front. And it's just a cool car. This car has got more looks than my Mini, and my Mini is obnoxious blue with stripes. Yeah, I wouldn't change this car. It's perfect. The transmission is a nice close ratio 5-speed, and it's very good to drive. There are times, especially like when you're just cruising, where you aren't quite certain if you're in 5th or 3rd because of how far it... 5th looks like 3rd, 3rd looks like 1st, basically. It sits a little weird, but otherwise it's, again, fine. I think it's significantly better than the 4-speed auto, which just about everything was better than automatics back in those days. It's got a perfect... The ratios are perfectly tuned for this car. This was back when BMW made true driver's cars. Currently, their cars are good and they're designed for drivers, but they have too much technology. And that's my personal opinion, but this was before there was any technology in the car. The most technological thing is the clock right here, which doesn't work. Well, the clock also, I guess, has a speedo built in, but yeah. There's nothing over the top in this car. It's got the 6... I prefer the 6-cylinder. I think everybody does. It sounds so much better. It sounds almost like a mini V12. car. I've got, like, there's nothing really more to say. Like, the transmission is nice. Power delivery is beautifully smooth. Here, I'll drop it into third. Wait till we get out of this corner. And I'll plant my foot. It's not a wave of torque. It's just this smooth push. The brakes are nice and grabby. Here we go. This is where you feel it. It doesn't pin you in your seat. It's not powerful in that sense, but it's just very well set up. The clutch is nice and heavy and has just the right amount of bite. Like, you know exactly when you're in gear and exactly when you're out. Steering wheel the feedback is immense. Like, you can tell exactly when you go right over a line. It's kind of awesome. It's not kind of awesome, it is awesome. You know exactly when you have exactly when you start to lose grip, which is kind of hard to do in this car because, again, it's so well set up. The suspension is, going over those bumps reminded me, the suspension, it's not rough. You think it's a sports car from the 90s, it's going to be rough or it's going to be completely wallowy, but it corners very flat, and it doesn't punish you. It's better handling than my Mini, but better handling and better riding. I think back in its day, this car was $30,000. I will need to verify that, and I'll put in a little blurb of how much this was if I can find it. But yeah, it's built in Germany. I do know that. I found a little thing that gave me a little bit of a decoder for this. This specific car was built in Germany in early 1989, and it was equipped exactly like this. The only thing that we have done, or the only thing that my uncle and his son have done, is these seats and the suspension. These seats were like $6,000. They're so worth it. He just completely redid all of the leather on the inside. More of the car's value is leather than the rest of the thing, and I think it's perfect. It is so comfortable, like easily the most comfortable car I've ever been in. It's not some ridiculous Cadillac boat. Their bolstering is insane. Like, I'm a skinny dude. I slide around in seats often, but these ones pinch me in just the right way without being tight. I don't really have much more to say at this point. Like, I've kind of covered everything. I'm gonna chill for a little bit and let the engine do some talking. Not a single bit of slip to that. Oh my God! What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ! I know flat spots in my tires. Dude, what the hell is wrong with you? Yeah, there's flat spots in the tires now. Dang it. Those are going to take a little bit to get out. Yeah, there are huge flat spots in the tires. Damn. What a... I think I got his license plate. I'm calling that in. Like, that was... Oh, thank you, Jesus, for not letting me hit that. I came this close to hitting his bumper. Okay, on that bombshell, I think I might pull over and end this and check the tires. Because they're definitely, yeah. I'm going to find a spot to pull off and check this, and I'm going to call that guy in because I know there's service here. That's private property. That's private property. Man. Oh. I am shaken up from that. Wow. Oh, wait, no. That's where that guy pulled in. Yeah, I'm definitely going to a different pull-off spot than him because I am not happy. Okay, right here. That buzz was my phone, by the way. Okay, so on that bombshell, I am going to end this review. As you can tell, this car is just truly a good car. But until next time, goodbye. This is where I did the lockup. I started locking up right there. Way back there. All the way to here. You can actually see the F-150, he peeled out. This is how close, this right here. That is maybe a foot. Like, yeah. Maybe a foot at most. And that car would have been totaled.